We will open to the public. This is a reorganization meeting, but there is always a public portion. Motion to open?
So moved. Second.
Anyone care to comment from the public? Barry first, then Patrick Duke second. Justin, you'll wrap it up this session.
Yes, Barry Forgetti, 1820 Overbrook Avenue. A few days ago, I read in the paper about the port, and again, I just want to reiterate what Senator Sweeney said. It's definitely a great thing for the borough, especially as far as revenue is concerned. But again, revenue helps us with money and things we can do. But again, I'm concerned about the crime in our neighborhoods and things like that. If that money can be used to help divert and get rid of these problems, then I'm all for it. I did have a few questions about what I had read. As far as the number of jobs are gone, I've been heard and read in the newspaper up until this point that it was going to be 2,500 jobs. Now in the paper a few days ago was hundreds of jobs. I know that's still hundreds, but it doesn't equate to 2,500. So what is the difference there now?
I think in the context of the article, it talked about the construction side of the equation.
Okay, so it has nothing to do with the hiring.
The operations side.
Okay, and that was another question about as far as, the hiring, as far as Paulsboro residents having a preference. Again, then it said by certain categories.
That's correct.
So exactly what does that mean?
Well, it means just exactly what it says. There will be certain categories. There will be general hire categories, and there will be residency preference associated with those. If a company moves in, takes up a lot of space, and brings their operations, they may come into a degree self-contained.
Right.
But there'll be categories with the general hire, and there'll be residency preference, which we think is going to underpin the neighborhoods. If you took a 100 household in Paulsboro and turned their income related to those reasonable paying port jobs, the change you're talking about will come very quickly. And that's what the intention is, and that's why that provision is included. Since then, I think the city of Camden has tried to include it in their provisions with their relationship between them and the port, but it's in our agreement.
Yeah, well, that's definitely a great portion of that. You're going to hire borough residents. I know that's a big item we do as far as turning our neighborhoods around. We think that you're hoping that people are going to flock to Paulsboro, be Paulsboro residents in order to qualify for their jobs. Again, me and you have a different way of looking at that, but hopefully that's the way it will take place. You also mentioned about the audit, and I believe it right now is $500,000. Is that money going into our coffers today, that $500,000?
That's correct.
Okay, so we already availed that money now.
Yeah, we're using that, and of course it's helpful, but that fails in what will be the build out, which we hope should. If we were build out the concept rates we speak now, that 500 will probably be closer to 2.5+ million.
Okay.
This is a big deal for us.
That's great. And again, I've heard by Mr. Kidd and again Senator Sweeney about, we really have a bad year ahead of us as far as taxes go. I mean, are we looking as bad as last year?
Well, Barry, it's hard to call. I want to tell you that I don't think so, but I don't want to say sitting here today. We're going to get into the budget early this year. A lot of things are in flux. We have to see what's going to come out of Washington, how it flows through the state down to the municipalities, what that means. We got 3 positions that we have people retiring. 2 of those will not be filled and only be filled by a part-timer, for example. So there's some internal things that we're going to do. So I don't know where it all washes out. But we'll know I hope that we'll know within 90 days as we open up this year what we're staring at.
Okay, I mean, that's a scary thought for all of us. I mean, we really hit hard last year, and I mean, if this year is going to be as bad and maybe even worse, I mean, I can see people flocking out of town now.
It won't be worse, at least from my vantage where we're sitting, but I don't know where we're at.
And again, I'd be remiss in not congratulating Councilman Kidd and Councilman Marine on your election victory, so congratulations.
Thank you.